Zara Jamshed from Hong Kong wants to know how similar or different are you from your characters Fred and George?
We're quite similar in the fact that we love playing practical jokes on people, especially when we're on tour, because you have to keep entertained some way, and we like to keep pranks going all the way. So I guess that element, but what we're different is that obviously we're not ginger. That's one of the big differences.
Right, okay. So speaking of pranks, so obviously, like you said, you bring your on-screen pranks off-screen. So do you have like any interesting pranks that you want to share with your fans that you've played on?
There are some, but I don't want to give bad impressions to anybody. One that I did actually was, we were filming on location once, and all the crew stay in a hotel only about a mile away or so from where we filmed.
Right.
And all the crew had to leave at about 6 a.m. to go to the set, so they're all driving away. And for whatever reason, I was up. I normally like to go for a run, so I was up, and I decided I'd have some fun. So I stood next to a lamppost with my camera, and when they drove past, I took a picture, so it flashed.
Right.
And so a lot of people in the crew thought they had speeding tickets, which just little things like that, really.
Right, okay. Cool. Matt from Philippines wants to know, and this question is directed to Oliver, while shooting Fred's death scene, were you overwhelmed with emotion, and did you cry, and how did you?
Yeah, I had to cry in the actual scene itself, which was strange. It was a horrible scene to film personally, because you have to, the way David Yates gets you to act is to encourage you to find a relative point in your life to relate to. So I had to try and get into that type of mindset, and it was pretty tough to do. I think it took about four takes to do. But yeah, it was quite emotional.
Right, and what was it like for you to play for your character to come to an end? How did you feel?
I felt really, it was like a close friend of mine had died, really. It was really sad. But in another way, it's quite cool that I have closure on this character now, whereas other guys, like I know that I won't ever play him again, whereas a lot of the other guys could maybe in limbo about it. But as for actually shooting on the day, it was possibly the easiest day's work I've ever had to do, because I just lay down and stayed still.
Right, which is not really quite easy sometimes with all the things happening, because the battle was still going on and you had to stay still while they were crying over you.
A little bit, but I kind of fell asleep for a short while, and I woke up and everyone had gone to lunch and just left me on the stage.
Did they really?
Yeah, they weren't very nice to me, yeah.
Okay. All right, Saruni from Indonesia wants to know, did you both audition for another role during Harry Potter, and whose idea was it to go for the audition in the first place? And her last question was, since you guys look really similar, does one of you have more female fans than the other?
Well,
right, to answer the first
audition.
question. Yeah, audition. Think about the last one. The audition process was, we just heard that there was an open audition going for it, so anyone in the country could go for it. So it was kind of just like we both said it would be cool to do. We could get in a movie, we'll have a day off school in the process. We got nothing to lose. So that was 11 years ago yesterday. That was yeah.
Okay.
So if you had to tell me 11 years ago that we'd be in Hong Kong now doing our last ever promotion, I wouldn't have believed you. But yes, we went for that process, and then over about 6 weeks, that's how it rolled into us getting the parts.
Okay. And whose idea was it, though, to go for the audition in the first place?
to go, well, my mum basically stuck her head around the door after getting a phone call from a friend saying she'd read in the paper that they were auditioning for all parts for the new Harry Potter film. And obviously twins are part of it. Mum says, if you want to go, we can all go up to make the drive to Leeds to do it. And so it was more of a, we'll all go, yeah. So it was more of a family outing, really, so it wasn't necessarily one person's idea to go.
Right, cool. As for who has the more female fans?
Well, I don't want to brag, but me.
It's funny because he's got such a big head. He can gravitate all that.
Right. Speaking of fans, you have a huge fan base in Asia and worldwide even. How do you take it all in?
It's hard to grasp just how people know us from the other side of the world. Like, we can understand it if it's in like our hometown or England in general. But all over the world is quite a huge thing for us to grasp. But the Asian fans have just been amazing to us. They really have, and we love when we get fan mail. Like the mail from Asia is, you can always tell it's from Asia because it's so neat and it's so well done.
The stationery is absolutely amazing. The stationery and how well thought out everything is. It's we're very lucky to have, as you say, so many people who take time to write to us.
I think that's what's cool about it, is it being, this is our last ever theatrical stop for Harry Potter, is here in Hong Kong. So it's kind of like the hub of Asia, as it were. So it's great to be able to actually meet a load of the fans here who've just given us so much warmth and love over the last 10 years. So it's great to actually say thank you in person.
That's beautiful. All right. So Azrul from Malaysia wants to know, between the two of you, who is better looking, at which I think James had already answered that, but Oliver, do you?
Well, that's it for other people to say, I suppose.
Okay, and Regina from... Okay, then with the very last question would be, what's your best memories throughout the Harry Potter franchise, and what will you miss the most?
I think for me the best memory from being involved in Harry Potter was, there's a few. The premieres are always amazing. Like they always get such a big attraction. Like a lot of people always turn up.
The premiere in London last Thursday, the world premiere, I think they estimated about 22,000 people were in and around the area. So it was a huge event. It was like we were, I can't really describe it. The people had flown in from all over the world to see it, and it really was a special occasion. But I'm going to say my first day on set would be one of my highlights, because that was a day that you'll always remember, and it was the start of a time which has changed my life.
That's true. Do you guys like cry on the very last day the shoot wrapped?
No, no, we didn't do that. Although Rupert said he did, so we pulled his leg about that a bit. But we didn't really. It was I think because our last ever day was reshoots, which was back in November, so it was a long time after official filming finished. Although it does come over a bit that we're obviously sad and worried, and that really comes over in the scene in this new film.
Well, I got more emotional last Tuesday, because that was our last ever European promotion, and we'd done a lot of stuff with especially the European Warner Brothers team. So it was quite sad then we realised that we weren't going to be doing this for a Potter series ever again. So I did get a bit of a lump in my throat then, but I kind of had to brush it off because we had to go and do a speech in front of 8,000 people. So it was kind of like, I didn't want to turn on stage and go, hello, I want to be, thank you.
That would have moved them though.
Yeah, exactly. But I tried not to, but I'm not sure. I think I may get a bit choked up tomorrow, knowing that it's the last ever thing we're doing for Potter. But if you're going to do it, you might as well do it in one of the most beautiful cities in the world, so we're very fortunate for that.